Well, talk to us via social media platforms as Sweet TV Kenya, Joel Chacha M on Twitter, as well on Facebook, Sweet TV Kenya and Joel Chacha. Send in an SMS via 111 We begin in matters politics. ODM leader Raila Odinga has defended his relationship with the Jubilee government, saying that he's just an advisor and that he cannot be held accountable for the failures of the Jubilee government. Raila has further asked politicians to shun divisive politics and rather carry citizens' interest at heart, even while selling their manifestos. Our reporter Brian Mwenda has more.
ODM leader Raila Odinga has called for politicians to shun divisive politics and engage the electorate on matters economic development to uplift their living standards. Speaking at ACK Cathedral in Mombasa County, Raila says politicians should have citizens' interests at heart while politicking and selling their agenda.
The government should come up with an economic recovery program, a comprehensive economic recovery program that will help this country to move from where it is to where it should be going. Help the poor, those who have lost their jobs. So we need cash transfers to be given to all people.
Vita MP Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir and Mombasa County Deputy Governor William Kingi, who are also in attendance, have cautioned the clergy to be wary of politicians who use the pulpit as a political platform.
Kila tukikaribia karibu na kura, tuna wale ambao kwamba ni manabii waongo wanazuka. Lakini tusikubali kugawanywa kwa msingi wa dini, tusikubali kugawanywa kwa msingi wa kikabila, na tatu, tusikubali kugawanywa ya kwa huyu hali yake ni hii na huyu mwingine hali yake ni hii.
Mambo ya siasa tuyawache pale nje. Tukija hapa tupate fursa ya kuweza kuabudu Mwenyezi Mungu wetu, alafu zile mambo mengine tufanye kule nje.
The ODM leader has distanced himself from the Jubilee government failures, saying that he will not carry the burden of the government as he is only an advisor. Brian Mwenda, Sweet TV, Mombasa.
Meanwhile, Deputy President William Ruto has heaped blame for Jubilee failures on people, saying it's high time for the government to focus on project delivery rather than throwing jabs at each other. As political temperatures continue to rise in the country, UDA party seems to have been divided on whether to go solo in the 2022 race or form a coalition. Majibu Kisao reports.
Deputy President William Ruto says the continued war of words from his political opponents are to blame for the government's dismal performance, taking a beating on the president's legacy.
Kwa miaka 4 ambazo zimepita, tumeona mambo mengi, vita nyingi, na mimi nataka niulize jameni, mashindano, malumbano dhidi ya viongozi kwa mambo ambayo hayamfaidi mwananchi mdogo inaturudisha nyuma.
Mathira, Member of Parliament Rigathi Gachagua, who was in the company of the DP, has also blamed senior government officials and by extension Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i and Principal Secretary State Department for Interior Karanja Kibicho, quote-unquote, deep state, for missing the point and reshaping Kenya into a dictatorship government, pointing out the recent harassment by police officers.
Kibicho na Matiang'i, they have converted a democratic, popular government into a dictatorship and made Kenya a police state. That is the problem we have with them. Na wakisema ati tunauliza mambo yao tutaendelea, we shall continue to call them out because they have undermined the popularity of President Uhuru Kenyatta through misuse of police kutesa watu.
On his part, Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichung'wah has criticized the government for criminalizing entrepreneurship, heightening the recent diplomatic tiff set off by the aborted trip of the DP to Uganda.
You have criminalized enterprise in this country to an extent that investors now will start running away from this country because you are criminalizing enterprise and business. And I want to say, without any fear of contradiction, today, when we said that there is a criminal cabal in the office of the president, I want to repeat in church, before man and God, that indeed we have a criminal enterprise and a cabal operating from the office of the president that must be demolished if this country will continue being a peaceful country.
It is Kenyans that we should always remember that they wanted a country where all of us are equal before the law. And that even our visitors, even our investors, anybody can associate, be free to be friends, political rights, to be associating with anybody that you want.
Sasa tuangalie vijana na kina mama, wale wanyonge ndio tusonge. Na nataka kusema kwamba hii serikali ni ya kusaidia mwananchi. Hii serikali sisi ndio tumeunda. Kwa hivyo tusiwe na chuki, tusiwe na wivu katika viongozi. Tusipigane wenyewe.
Ruto and his Hustler Brigade, who had attended a Sunday service at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Karagita, Naivasha, Nakuru County, have further continued to drum up support for the Hustler movement as politics continue to heat up just 1 year to the polls. Majibu Kitsao for Switch TV.
Still a focus on matters politics, ODM party has called upon Deputy President William Ruto to resign from his prestigious seat due to his association with the Turkish businessman who was arrested in Kenya yesterday by the government. Speaking in Kangemi today, the ODM brigade claimed the DP is engaging in shady businesses to fund his 2022 campaigns. Namukana Samuel reports.
The Orange Democratic Movement has called upon President Uhuru Kenyatta to sack his Deputy President William Ruto over his alleged association with the Turkish foreign national who was arrested yesterday at Wilson Airport. ODM SG Edwin Sifuna has asked Ruto to explain his aborted trip to the government of Uganda.
You show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. Sasa ndugu zetu wengine hapa wanataka kuwa marais, lakini kila wakati kunatokea na shida, marafiki zao ndio wanapatikana na hiyo shida. Mwingine anatuambia juzi ati amekutana na mwekezaji.
I want to challenge the cabinet secretary responsible for foreign affairs that you needed to have by now summoned the Ugandan High Commissioner in Nairobi to put all these issues to him so that we can know for sure if indeed our neighboring country of Uganda is not involved in these shenanigans.
The second in command has been under political fire recently after his trip to Uganda was cancelled recently by the government over his association with the Turkish man Aydin.
So we are challenging jina lake nani huyu deputy wenu? Huyo. He should have taken the most obvious thing to resign. Aachane na hiyo kazi, sasa atafuta investors aende kuwa deputy Uganda.
If you want to be a leader of a better country, sio inchi ambao wanafanya biashara za matunda, that you are told you take 50 hii ni uongo, 15 billion kufanya biashara za matunda.
Opiyo Wandayi, Ugunja Member of Parliament, has accused Ruto of forming a parallel government while associating himself with the Jubilee government that put him in power. The ODM brigade pitched camp at the Church of God in Kangemi today in a mass service to raise funds for the construction of the church.
That for the first time in the history of this country, we are seeing two parallel governments, essentially. Ya kwamba tuko na serikali inaongozwa na Mheshimiwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta na kuna serikali nyingine inaongozwa na makamu wake wa rais Bwana Ruto.
Ruto has since defended the presence of Aydin, a controversial businessman whose presence is said to have spooked government officials. The DP said Aydin is a well-known businessman to government officials. The Orange Democratic Movement now wants Deputy President William Ruto to explain his relationship with the Turkish businessman who was arrested yesterday at Wilson Airport. Namukana Samuel, Switch TV, Kangemi, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, Mani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi has asked schools not to exploit parents through forced buying of school uniforms and other boarding requirements from selected suppliers. The 2022 presidential candidate has revealed that some schools are directing parents to buy uniforms and other items from selected stores, hence inflating the cost. Our very own Flora Limuki reports.
Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi has condemned schools which are allegedly overcharging parents on school uniforms and other items, and further stated that some of those schools are forcing parents to purchase some items from specific outlets due to personal interest.
Some head teachers wanalazimisha ende ununue pahali fulani pekee. Hata kama bei ni mbaya wanakulazimisha kwa hiyo, na unaweza nunua hiyo mattress hapo pengine. Wamelipa up to 10,000 for facilities za mtoto kwenda grade 1. It's becoming expensive.
This comes at a time when the education sector in the country has been disrupted by the coronavirus pandemic and the introduction of the competency-based curriculum, CBC. Mudavadi says the curriculum being rolled out currently may lead to academic crash come 2023 due to improper planning.
Lakini tungependa Wizara ya Elimu na walimu waangalie vizuri, kwa sababu uzito mwingi unakuja, na tusipochunga uzito ambao utapatikana Januari 2023 na Januari 2024, wakati tutakuwa na double intake, kwa sababu tunahitaji 100% transition.
The ANC leader also says that he's not only focusing on the country's economic recovery, but also reshaping the education sector come 2022.
Na ndio kwa sababu sisi kwa ANC tunasema ideology yetu muhimu kwa wakati huu ni governance nzuri, integrity, alafu tunasema uchumi. Agenda number 1, uchumi. Agenda number 2, uchumi. Agenda number 3, uchumi.
Musalia has also asked the government to prepare well in advance for this expected double intake in schools in the year 2023 and 2024. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Flora Limuki.
Meanwhile, a Form 3 student is nursing critical head injuries at Muhila Mission Hospital in Huisero constituency in Kakamega County after being assaulted by her father for demanding school fees. Elsewhere, police officers at Maragua Police Station have extended a helping hand to Lynette Mudhoni by raising school fees for secondary education. Caroline Suma with the following report.
18-year-old Beverly Katondi of Muhundaha Secondary School in Kusero constituency is nursing head injuries alleged to have been inflicted on her by her father using a blunt object after she demanded school fees.
She had a cut wounds in the right upper limbs and head. The wounds were stitched and she was given medication.
According to the young girl, her father has been repeatedly assaulting her.
Babanga chukuliwa tu, lakini kurudi nyumbani naofia sana. Tena naweza rudi tena siku nyingine tena anipige tena sana naweza niumiza vibaya.
Civil societies in the area have condemned the incident, calling on the government to set up rescue centers to accommodate such victims.
Mzazi ambaye ana mazoea ya kudhulumu huyu mtoto nyumbani achukuliwe hatua na mtoto aangaliliwe hifadhi. Ni visa ambavyo vinatokea, wazazi wanadhulumu watoto wa kike, na mara nyingi akina mama wanatetea hao wazee kwa sababu wanatetea zile ndoa zao. Sasa unakuta mama na mzee sasa hata kama mtu ameumizwa mama hataki kusema.
Elsewhere in Maragua, police officers came to the rescue of a needy student, Lynette Mudhoni, after her parents failed to pay for her secondary education due to financial constraints.
Mtoto wangu alifanya mtihani mwaka huyu na akafanya vizuri, lakini nikashindwa kumpeleka shule.
Mudhoni was taken to Kiagunyi Girls in the presence of police officers and the area MCA, where she was warmly welcomed in the school, ready to start off her high school dream with her fellow students.
Naweza nikashukuru afisa wa Maragua na MC wa Ichagaki World na assistant chief wa Ikomola.
Over 90% of those who sat for KCPE exams have already enrolled in different secondary schools. Caroline Tuma, Switch TV.
14 minutes past 7 p.m. We are due for a short commercial break. But before that, today Kenya has recorded 800 new COVID-19 cases and 32 deaths. That means the positivity rate is now 12.3%. We now take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Breaking Today. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Tracy Dorcas. And on a special feature tonight, her fans know her as DJ Wiwa. She has sparked excitement in the country, not just as an ordinary DJ, but one who has truly mastered the art of DJing, and she does all these using her feet. And as our reporter David Kagina finds out, Winnie Wanjiru was born with cerebral palsy, but that has not stopped her from venturing in a field that defies all her current conditions, and from the tips of her toes emanates euphoria. Take a look.
If making lemon out of lemonade was a person, then Winnie Wanjiru could be the SI unit.
I think DJing is one of the most demanding jobs in terms of coordination.
Ever seen a DJ who uses her feet to spin? Yes, that's right, feet. That's exactly what DJ Wiwa, one of Kenya's fast-rising entertainers, does. She was born with cerebral palsy, a group of disorders that affect a person's ability to move and maintain balance and posture. In her case, her arm movements are not coordinated, as you can tell. She has to use a straw for her drinks, among other challenges. But this did not dim her future. What was just a suggestion to a young girl born with the condition has turned out to be her greatest asset. Wiwa has done it over and over again, and she has now mastered her art. The entertainment industry is one of the most affected by the pandemic, and Winnie was not spared. DJ Wiwa, like most performers, then took to the internet with her astounding performances, and as we converse, she tells me of her experience with the online audience.
Anatumia kwa kisu, nisimjue kitu so wasiote mafanzo wangu wote ala mahita yako iko ya juzi kuna mtu aliniambia niache kuact kama mwanangu uko nikaongea jionekani.
With her set of decks, all she needs is a hand in the setup where she gives the guidance. Her decks don't need a platform, and on a safe space on the floor, she takes over with the key tool in her trade, her laptop, which, as you can see, is fully operated by the tip of her toes. Once setup is done, all you have to do is bring your requests, and Wiwa the DJ takes it from there. She switches the knobs with ease that we had to inquire with DJ Kalonje, a master of the art for many years, just how much effort is needed to have a smooth transition.
Ukiangalia hivi, especially the mixer iko na a lot of buttons and knobs. So basically, ukitaka kumix within like a time frame of like 20 to 10 seconds, unafaa kuwa umefanya vitu mingi sana. First of all, unafaa kuwa umecue muziki, unafaa kuwa umejua BPM, unafaa kuwa umejua equalization ya muziki, volume, bado macho yako inafaa kuwa kwa laptop. So I think DJing is one of the most demanding jobs in terms of coordination.
Having invested so much in her skill, almost as twice as an ordinary person would, there are still those who are up for exploits, needing her services but not willing to pay the price.
Mwache inasaidia ya kuambia na mifala na kufusha hakuna kama hiyo ni kuna hasi wala kanda wanakuja kuja takule kufusha ndakuipa la chakula amu tajulikana.
So above everything else that DJ Wiwa can do, she can call using her feet. I didn't believe it actually at first when she told me when communicating with me she was using her feet. And so let's see if she can. I want to see it myself. And there it goes. She actually did it with her feet. With my two hands, there's some of the things that I cannot do given her desk and given her position. This is a clear indicator that surely disability of any form is not inability. And you're not limited by anything. You're only limited by your mindset. David Kagina reporting for Switch TV, Nairobi.
Indeed, disability is not inability. Thank you, David Kagina, for that piece. Moving on, the Nairobi Expressway is considered to be a hub of Kenya's modern road transport network and a vision of the government's Big Four agenda in implementing improved infrastructure. For months now, Switch TV has been following up on the 27-kilometer highway that starts from Lolongo and ends at James Gishuru Road. This is the situation of the road as of now. Take a look.
This is the current state of the transport system in Kenya. Many commuters using major roads in the capital city, Nairobi, have endured devastating effects of traffic congestion characterized by a surge in the increase of number of motor vehicles. In a bid to solve this problem, the government of Kenya launched the construction of the JKIA James Gishuru Road Expressway project in 2019.
I think the first thing to note is that the initial timeline for the expressway was 4 years. So we could have finished actually in 2024. But it's been reduced by half to make sure we complete by next year.
The project consisted of a 4-lane dual carriageway with 9 interchanges, including the SGR terminus at JKIA, Eastern Bypass, Southern Bypass and Enterprise Road. On this day, the 6th of August, the workers here at the workstation are doing all they can to ensure they beat the deadline set by the government. Our journey begins here around the Westlands Museum Hill area, and we interact with engineers and contractors who are in charge of the project. They explain that the construction workers learn on a skills transfer basis and are trained on how the construction should work.
Below me are traffic snarl-ups that have affected the Nairobi city for years. I am currently standing at the workstation of the Nairobi Expressway in the Museum Hill.
According to the Kenya National Highway Authority, KENHA, the Nairobi Expressway has employed over 5,000 people, where each individual is trained upon venture.
They have supported livelihood, and most important also is that the contractor, because of COVID, he has actually put up residential places for all his workers. None of these workers you see go home. They all actually live in a residential place, which is well secured with everything, water and housing. And therefore, the transmission of COVID is actually contained because they are all together.
Along the Southern Bypass exists a power fabrication site where materials are generated. It is here where pillars, beams, and other material are created to suit the specifications needed.
After we are through with the structures, there are many things to do. For example, we shall have, in the interchanges, we shall have boots, toll boots. We shall also have the communications. We shall also have auxiliaries. So all that work, including testing on how people will be able to pay, that will take us about 3 months. So by April, we should be able to open the road to traffic.
With the completion of the multi-billion shillings project, it will take between 15 and 20 minutes to cover the 27-kilometer stretch, which starts from African Inland Church, Mlolongo, all the way to James Gishuru on Waiyaki Way.
Interesting benefits about Nairobi Expressway. Nairobians probably need to recognize that the biggest culprit for the traffic jams that we have is actually Uhuru Highway. Yeah, because Uhuru Highway is actually a span, it's a spine of the city of Nairobi. So driving from the western part of Nairobi, Westlands and Hurlingham and the likes, whatever you do will be influenced by traffic ahead of you that is touching Uhuru Highway. Yeah. And as we come from the east, it's the same thing. From Westlands, it's the same highway, and Mombasa. So if we resolve the traffic congestion.
China Road and Bridge Corporation, CRBC, is set to pocket 106.8 billion as profit for the 27 years. After 27 years, CRBC will hand over the project to the government.
We've been very sensitive, actually, when we discussed this matter with the contractor, who is also the investor. We discussed and sensitized them on the need to make sure that the road, although it's a commercial investment, to make sure it's affordable.
In a country that is rapidly trying to reduce road congestion, the Nairobi Expressway, that is 27 kilometers, might be the only hope. Rachel Ndwati, Switch TV.
Now, many thanks for staying with us. My name is Cedric Oronje and it's a good day for sports. To start off with matters local football, where KCB failed to climb top of the Kenya Premier League log after holding down to a 0-0 scoreline against Kenya Premier League defending champions Gor Mahia in a tight encounter that saw both sides square it out. Fair chances within the 90 minutes of play. Other KPL fixtures saw Bandari slap Homeboys 2-1 and Zoya Sugar bag a 2-1 win against Wazito FC. Despite having a slow start at the 2020 World Olympic Games, Kenya has finished on a high after a stunning performance from Eliud Kipchoge, who bagged his second straight gold medal and cementing his place among the all-time greats of sports. Apollo James tells us more.
Following Eliud Kipchoge's win, Kenya moved up to position 19 globally in medal standings and also third in the track and field medal table after Italy and United States. The win has brought Kenya's tally to 4 gold medals from men's marathon final, Perez Jepchirchir women's marathon final, Faith Kipyegon women's 1500 meters final, and Korir Emmanuel men's 800 meters final. 4 silver medals from Helen Obiri women's 5000 meters final, Bridget Kosgei women's marathon final, Ferguson Rotich men's 800 meters final, and Timothy Cheriot men's 1500 meters final. 2 bronze medals from Kian Hyvin women's 3000 meters steeplechase final, and Kigen Benjamin men's 3000 meters steeplechase final, marking the most wins of any African team at the 2020 Games. The 2016 Games in Rio de Janeiro were the most successful in Kenya's Olympic history. The National Olympics team claimed all its medals in athletics, finishing with 6 gold, 6 silver and 1 bronze. Kenya's highest medal total at a single edition of the Games came at Beijing 2008, where athletes won 16 overall, 6 gold, 4 silver and 6 bronze. It is a competition that saw several of the major names dropping out amid heat, humid, windy conditions, and tropical systems have been the nemesis of the athletes during these Olympic Games. Apollo James, Switch Television.
And in regards to that brilliant showcase by Eliud Kipchoge, this is what Kenyans had to say.
Nafurahia sana. Namcongratulate na tunamwombea Mungu aendelee na hiyo bidii kabisa.
Mimi na feel nimejivunia. In fact niliamka hiyo masaa 7 kuocha kikimbia mwenyewe. Na najivunia cause 208 Wanjiru ndo alishinda. Back now Kipchoge tena ndo imerudi Tokyo ameichukua. So I'm very proud of him and I'm very proud of being Kenya.
Tunashukuru sana. Ako sawa. Sisi kama wa Kenya tunajivunia juu ya Kipchoge.
Now, the national anthem was belted twice today at the closing ceremony of the Olympic Games in Tokyo, with Perez Jepchirchir and Eliud Kipchoge receiving their marathon gold medal. Fireworks lit up the sky above Tokyo's Olympic Stadium as the closing ceremony for the postponed 2020 Olympic Games came to an end. Take a look. Now, many thanks for staying with us, and also a big congratulations to Eliud Kipchoge for making Kenya proud. Gold wasn't easy at that particular time. But of course, that is all for now from our sporting desk. My name is Cedric Oronje. Back to you, Joel.
Well, that's all here on Breaking Today. My name is Joel Chacha, and our sign language interpreter Tracy Dorcas. Our producer has been Safi Godana Mamo. Until next time, you have a safer good night.